Hey guys, happy Wednesday and a massive welcome to you all on this evening's Coach Live. So in today's live, I'm going to share with you 3 great tips on how you can get your motivation back a little bit, get back on track, and a great journaling exercise to finish off the live as well. So guys, if you do have a notepad and pen to hand, I am going to bring this into the live a little bit later on. Equally, if you just want to write it down, perhaps on a note section somewhere else, that's totally cool. But we are going to be writing a few things down towards the end. The first thing I wanted to start with is when it comes to any motivation, any lack of motivation, any setback, perhaps if you're going through that time with illness, any personal struggles that you're experiencing. The absolute first thing I find absolutely brilliant, and this has helped me out when I was going through some challenging times last month on my veggie journey, is remembering your why, reminding yourself of your why, okay? And I've got a great 3-step way that you can remember and remind yourself of your why, okay? So I want to bring the graphic up on the screen and you'll be able to see exactly what this looks like in 3 steps, all right? So number 1, what is your main goal? Okay, so very, very simple. What is the top line headline goal? Okay, is it to lose weight? Is it to make more helpful meal choices? Is it to get more activity in? Is it to get more confident with cooking skills? Absolutely anything, all of the above, some of them, some indifferent. Number 1, what is your main goal? All right, so that's the first tip. This is how we kind of get thinking about what our why is if we're not so sure. Step number 2, why have you decided to work towards this goal? Okay, was it because you wanted to get a little bit more adventurous with your cooking skills? You wanted to get fitter, you wanted to get more active, you wanted to feel a little bit better about how you were when you were working out. Perhaps it comes down to how you are when you go to social occasions. Whatever it is, why did you decide to work towards this goal is step number 2. And then finally, tip number 3 is how is it going to be beneficial to yourself and others, all right? So if it's about becoming more adventurous with recipes, perhaps the benefit is going to be making more helpful and nutritionally beneficial food choices. And as well, that's going to be helpful because you'll be able to make more meals confidently for others, great tasting meals for friends and family. Perhaps if it's an activity goal, it's going to be benefiting you by getting fitter, losing whatever weight you might want to lose, and with others, just making you more durable as we go into the future and we get a little bit older. So these 3 steps I find have been super, super helpful when it comes to reminding yourself of your why. Now, I wanted to bring the notepad into this, guys, because I felt like a really good way to remind ourselves of our why, and indeed you guys as well, would be to ask you to participate in answering these 3 questions for me. So if you need to write them down, it's totally cool. But let's just start with number 1 for everyone. So feel free to comment in the chat, guys. What is your main goal? Okay, so question number 1 in the chat. What is your main goal? And I'm going to start with one of my main goals that I've been working on. And some of you who've been following me for ages, my main goal was being vegetarian for the month of January. Okay, that was it. That was my main goal. Simple headline goal. Now, number 2, why did you decide to work towards this goal? Okay, so number 2. So the reason I started working towards being vegetarian for January is because I wanted to get more confident in my cooking skills. I wanted to be able to make much more versatile meal choices when I didn't have meat or fish as an option. I wanted to just see how creative and confident I could get being veggie. That's why I decided to work towards it over January. And again, as we think about step number 3, how's that goal going to benefit yourself and others? How did me learning to cook more vegetarian stuff for a whole month benefit myself and others? Well, personally, I discovered some amazing recipes and used some ingredients that I never ever thought I would use in my life. I discovered jackfruit, I discovered okra, so many things you can do with chickpeas, which was not only beneficial to my own cooking skills and confidence, but also I was able to cook some amazing food for friends and family. Now, the second bit I wanted to move on to is how we've got our why. We know what we want to do. We've got a goal in mind. One thing that really helps is how are you going to ensure that you carry this on a daily and a weekly and a monthly basis, okay? We know what we want to do. We know how it's going to benefit us. We know what we're working towards. Great. Now, one thing, the second tip I guess I would say is one thing that's been really, really important to have continuity as we're working towards something is have that daily or weekly reminder of what we need to do to work on that goal. So for example, if it's a nutritional goal, it might be to plan 2 to 3 meals that you want to work on this week. And it'd be good to have those meals on a planner somewhere that we can see them, we're reminded of them, either on our phone, perhaps in the kitchen, on the kitchen table. But we need to have a daily or weekly reminder, at the very least, of somewhere we can see it. So we're reminded of it. That's how we keep the consistency and keep the motivation up. So for example, one thing that I found very, very useful, it's very, very old school, but it works well. One of my goals this week has been to get to more yoga sessions. I'm aiming for 2 yoga sessions a week. And I've literally put a post-it on my fridge, okay? Super old school, but it's there on the fridge. Get to 2 times yoga sessions this week. Once the week's over, maybe I'll take it off. I might take it down to 1. I might up it to 3. It depends how I did after this week. But having that reminder is the most important thing to keep that continuity. Now, what I wanted to move on to sort of wrap things up really, really nicely, and this is where I'm going to bring the journal into play again. And this kind of helps with not only if times have been challenging, but it's also nice to kind of round off each day, perhaps, or you'll see when I explain this, perhaps you maybe even want to do it on a weekly basis. But one thing that's helped me when I've been going through challenging times, obstacles, hurdles, is being able to give yourself a little bit of self-compassion, show yourself some of the kind of that self-kindness and self-love in a way that actually works. I think we've all been we've all heard of the term self-compassion, self-kindness, self-care, but how do you actually do it in a way that's beneficial? And I wanted to share that with you we'll do it real time in my journal again. And what I do at the end of most days is I create what I like to call a achievement list. That's just my term for it. And it's part of my gratitude journaling practice that I do every day. And I found it to be really helpful when I've gone through challenging times or challenging weeks, because it helps you to recognize some of those small wins, small victories, non-scale victories that we can sometimes miss when we're not feeling great, when we're feeling quite low with our motivation. So it's really, really simple. And I'm going to do it real time with you guys now. And at the end of the day, I pretty much ask myself 3 questions and just write a 1-sentence answer to each of them. So let's do this together now. I'll write it real time. And the 3 questions are the following. Okay. So first one is, what went well today? All right, so I'm going to look back on today. What's gone really well? Let me just find a blank page. Today, what's gone really well for me is I had a great yoga session. Okay, super simple, but something that's gone really, really well today. All right. Number 2, what are you working on at the moment? So something that's currently in progress. Absolutely anything. So again, what am I currently working on at the moment? I am working on a new radio show episode. So that's number 2. And then number 3, what am I looking forward to? All right. Always an important one because it gives us that little bit of encouragement sometimes because we know what's something good that we are excited about on the horizon. So number 3, what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to a friend's birthday this coming weekend. Hope you have a great rest of the week and I will see you guys very soon.